are a lot of people that haven't heard your story, haven't seen your testimony. Would you mind sharing a bit about your story and your background and how you grew up and how you came to know Jesus and have such a real relationship with him?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up in a Christian environment. I went to church. I went to a private Christian school, but I had a bitter taste in my mouth about Christianity because of hypocrisy I had seen. I had seen a church in my hometown where the pastor at the time had stolen money from the church and cheated on his wife and ran, and he claimed to be a mouthpiece of God. And I had many people in my community and teachers who would tell me things to do with my life, but they would do the total opposite, and I would see them do the total opposite, and that hypocrisy hurt me. And then when I got to the eighth grade, that's when I began to battle depression and anxiety, and I didn't really have a taste for God. I didn't really like God. It wasn't my thing. Was actually angry towards God, and it was in the eighth grade. Not only did I develop depression and anxiety, but my grandfather had passed away to cancer, and I blamed God for his passing. And so that just developed this cycle of years battling depression and anxiety, never escaping it. Until I was 17 years old, I decided that the only way to make the pain go away was to make an irrevocable decision with my life. And so one night on December 25th of 2020, I was planning on taking my life. And the night I was going to take my life, I had a supernatural encounter with Jesus. I've never done drugs or alcohol, so I knew that the encounter I was having was from heaven, was from real, and it was Jesus. And so I prayed the most honest prayer I've ever prayed in my life, and it was, Jesus, if you're real, take away my anxiety and depression. And I haven't had my crippling anxiety or depression in over 5 years. And
Yeah.
so that was my
Praise
foot
God.
in the door with Jesus, and then that has led to preaching in the street every day, on and off camera, learning the scriptures, teaching the scriptures, trying to bring people into this thing that we call the family of God.
Wow. So what was it like? I mean, after you had that crazy Jesus encounter, was life, you woke up the next day and everything's awesome and like you had the best year and then you just go straight into the street. Like what was your journey like from then having that encounter to then where you are now and actually boldly talking about Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's this misconception about Christianity that like when you follow Jesus, it's like casting a magic spell over your life and it's
Yeah.
all sunshine and rainbows. That first year following Jesus was the hardest year of my life. Lost more friends than I could count. Had a hard time keeping the friends I had. Had family problems, many different things, and was trying to make new friends as well. And that was hard,
Yeah.
not finding Christian community, like-minded people. But it was crazy because as my whole world felt like it was crumbling, I had the most peace I'd ever found in my life, and Jesus gave me that peace. The scriptures say, even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we fear no evil, for he is with us. And Jesus is referenced as the Prince of Peace, right? He gives a peace that doesn't make sense to our brain, but gets to our heart. And so intellectually, did it make sense for me to have a good year? No. But with peace in my heart, absolutely, without the shadow of a doubt, I had confidence that the Lord was with me. And I had found more peace in that than I did living for myself and living in sin. And so that was like the big shift in that first year. But that first year really challenged me. And that's where I began this preaching in the street, where I would talk to random people and talk to friends and family members despite their opinions, and would really go after Jesus and trying to bring people into this thing. And it was so unpopular. Um, didn't see a lot of people come to know faith at that time in that first year, but I didn't back down. I had people throw food at me at my school, at football games. I had people threaten to beat me up in my hometown. It was just a really interesting thing, all for loving Jesus. So it was hard, but it was peaceful.
Yeah.